Hi, it's Seb, and you've caught me with a cup of coffee and some discount mooncake while I make the last ever video that I will ever make in this apartment. The reason I decided to make this one was because I saw a YouTube short. I don't know if I actually clicked on it, but like the words on the thumbnail said, "Take your book for a walk," and it made me kind of realize that I treat my books like dogs. And I just wanted to talk about that, I guess. This is a chatty video. It's not about particular books, it's about books in general. I think I used to think about books like sort of like talismans, like I would bring them with me wherever I went, like the ones that I was reading, and often I still do. I say it in the past tense. I still do. If I go to a cafe, I'll often just take out the book and put it on the table, even if I never read it. Just like having it there on the table to look at, like, and glance at, and feel like that's my book. Feels really great. And I guess that's what they meant by take your book for a walk. And that made me think that it's kind of more about the physical presence of having books with you. Almost like the companionship, because each book has its own personality, of course. And it's not so much about the reading of the book that makes it nice to have it there with you. Although, like, if it was a different kind of object without the potential for reading, I don't think there would be that kind of warmth. When I first moved into this apartment, I didn't immediately unpack, and I had got a suitcase that I'd left in Kuala Lumpur with a friend, which had like all my books in it. And so it was only after a while that I got that suitcase, and then I unpacked the books onto the shelf here. So I'd been living here for like, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks or something before I actually, made my own little bookshelf. And it was amazing, like the sense of almost like relief and comfort that I got when I had my own little bookshelf just there. It was like things just suddenly felt right. It was that sense that I'm not just staying in a place, I'm living there, right? And that, as well as relief, it brings you joy, I think. And I really only felt that once I had my books on a shelf. And it's not like I've had these books for years or anything. Like, I got them in Kuala Lumpur when I got here, and then when I left the capital for a while, like I said, I gave them to a friend to look after for a bit. I left them in a bag, right, and I gave the bag to the friend. But yeah, like, it felt like they're old friends or something. It was like coming back to old friends once I put them on the shelf. I wonder if other people feel that way. Like when you have a book in your bag and you feel the weight of it. Is it a nice weight? Obviously it's not that nice if you just go to the library and you've got like a million, but you know what I mean, right? And like when you have it on your bookshelf, I know that obviously for most people on BookTube, bookshelves are not just storage spaces, right? There's a lot to do with your personality and stuff, but like, what kind of feeling do you have when you look at your books there, right? Because I imagine it's quite different for different people. At the moment, when I look at my little bookshelf, it really it makes me feel anchored to a place, which is a very nice feeling as well. As well, I like seeing lots of different things. I often feel like I lack anchors, and the books sort of function like that for me. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but it is. But I'd love to hear from different people, what is your relationship with your books? So if you'd like to share down in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. Now, since I don't really have anything else to say, I thought I would focus on the bingo board you saw in the background of that footage of my bookshelf just now. Because the bingo board is also something that I left in Kuala Lumpur when I left the capital for a while. And so I made it in Japan, and it was meant to be like my reading challenge for the Year of the Snake, and it kind of fell by the wayside. So I thought I would have a look at it now to see if there's anything I can do with it. So here it is. I'm not going to explain all of the prompts. I did that in a previous video, and it'll take a while, but I'll talk about the ones that I think I can fill in. Like Naga, the first one here in the corner, this was supposed to be for a book that had, what was it, like something that's part snake, part human, or part snake, part something else. I had to have like snake in it somehow. Anyway, I found, something perfect for this in Mild Vertigo by Mieko Kanai. In the first chapter, there's a sort of transforming snake, and the way it's just brilliant, but I don't want to do it yet because I haven't finished that book. I'm in the middle of reading it, but I'm pretty sure that one will be filled in. For a lot of these, it's like this, like I know kind of what I want to do, like fantasy, right? I've read a lot of fantasy this year. My last video was also like a review of Fable by R.F. Kuang, but the thing is that like I kind of wanted to start and end a fantasy in the Year of the Snake, and I started Fable before the Year of the Snake, so I kind of want to stick in a different one. And like a lot of the fantasy that I've read has been manga, so I kind of feel like I want it to be a novel. And actually all the fantasy novels that I've read, I started like in January or something like that, which was before the Year of the Snake begins, so we'll leave it blank for now. Anaconda is the one that I'm most worried about at the moment, because that one had to be like a massive aquatic book. And I was thinking Moby Dick is one that I could go back to maybe, or else The Winners by Julio Cortázar. There was another big book. Oh yeah, there's like a fantasy book called Ship of Magic, which is also about boats and stuff like that. And I looked at it and it looks massive. So I might do that as well. But the problem is just that it's long and I haven't got that many months really before the year is up. Although this is the year of the snake, right? So it doesn't end at the end of December. It ends in February, I think, like very beginning of February, I think it was. So I do have a little bit of a bonus month to finish these in January. Okay, Viper. This one I'm sure I can do. It had to be short and venomous, like a viper. And The End of the Affair by Graham Greene was pretty short, I think. I'm not sure if it was as short as I'd want it to be for this prompt, but it was pretty short, right? Wasn't it? Anyway, it was such a bitter, poisonous book. And also it talks about religion almost as though religion is a poison in a way, but he's a Catholic, the writer, and it's really interesting the way that he writes about it. So it's got like it's steeped in irony. But yeah, I'm gonna count it for Viper. So I'm gonna put a little sticker. Got these stickers from a little shop. There we go. My first snake. I don't know if you can see it. It's got like a little bow tie. Next one I can fill in is Rod of Asclepius. This one had to be a book which had healing or resurrection as a theme, and Glorious Exploits by Ferdia Lenin absolutely fits that. And also, Asclepius is from Greek mythology, and that book is about a group of Syracusans putting on a play by Euripides, who it's to do with Greek mythology, right? It's in the ancient past, right after the failed expedition to Sicily, and they've got all these Athenians enslaved, and there's just like so much bitterness after the war. But these two potters decide to put on the plays of Euripides using the enslaved Athenians, the prisoners of war, as the actors, and it's all kind of about, can we overcome bitter divisions in society after we've gone through a war and after we've been like kind of trained to see each other as the enemy and killing each other and all this stuff. So yeah, that gets a snake. And actually, yeah, you know what? I did actually start that one last year as well, but it fits. And if I don't start putting things, then I'm not going to put anything on this. So in that case, I'm going to put the fantasy one as well. Let's go nuts. Let's just start filling this up with snakes. Okay, so now we have 2 little snakes. I wish I had more variety in my snake stickers, but honestly it was very difficult to find stickers of snakes. Believe me, I looked. Manga series, I have a bunch of manga series I started, but the only one that I feel kind of committed to at the moment is Made in Abyss. But I've only read 2 volumes of it, so I kind of feel I should have at least 3 volumes before I put a snake there, right? Like, because the idea wasn't that I read a whole series, but that I kind of got into a series that I definitely am going to finish at some point, right? Like, and just 2 volumes feels like it's still in a place where you could potentially drop out if it wasn't good enough. Although I'm really liking it, so I don't know. Let's skip it for now. And the next one I can put is Genesis Snake, right? Like something to do with Genesis, like the snake from Genesis. And it's funny, I read a few books that are like quite Christian, like theologically minded. Like first I read like The End of the Affair without realizing that it's so much to do with Christianity, right? And then immediately after that I read The Black Spider, or was it the other way around? Anyway, I read those 2 books back to back, and I didn't realize that like The End of the Affair I thought was just about the end of an affair, and The Black Spider I thought was about, I read on the back it's about like a village in Switzerland which gets attacked by spiders, and it's like a gothic classic, so I thought like that's what it was. But they're both the Graham Greene and the Swiss one, I forget the guy's name, they're both like really, really about Christianity and like Old Testament Christianity, and they're both kind of hinged on a deal with the devil scenario. I'm reading another deal with the devil book as well at the moment, so I've got lots of, and the sort of Faustian deal with the devil thing is really similar to the snake in Genesis, right? Which makes the sort of the temptation with the fruit, it is kind of like a Faustian bargain. So I have actually a bunch of books that I could put for this one, but I will, since I can't reuse the books, right? So I did Graham McGrean was the Rod of Asclepius, so Genesis Snake can be the black spider. It would almost be good if I had a black spider sticker actually to put instead of a snake for that one. That would be cute. But I don't, so I'm just gonna put another of the bow tie snakes. Okay, so I think that is all I can do for now. Like some of these other ones, like at a stretch, I could do it. Like manga series, I could. Naga, I could. Like I said, I haven't finished Mal Vertigo, and I want to read one more of the Made in Abyss mangas before I decided that is the series for me. But yeah, if I want to fill out the rest of the board, I better get reading for the rest of this year. Like I did look at the pictures and the prompts before I started filming today, and I was surprised that like they're quite difficult. Of all the books I've read this year, quite difficult to fit them into the prompts. So I may have made this into a slightly harder challenge than I imagined. I'm thinking if I get 4 in a row, maybe it counts as winning. I want to get all of them, obviously, but if I don't get all of them, then at least 4 in a row should be, I don't know, I'd buy a Twix or something for myself. Maybe for every 4 in a row, I get like a chocolate bar or a discount mooncake. And then, you know, if I get all 4, then I get to buy a book. Not all 4, like all 16. Yeah, if I get all 16 on the board, then I get to buy a book. But we'll see how that goes. I will keep you updated on my Snake Bingo board and my life and my geographic location and what my bookshelf looks like next. And yeah, next time you see me, I'll be on a different continent. Bye.